focus today is laser sharp. We're looking at the forecast for the Aquarius native in 2026.
Right. And if that's you listening, you already know the reputation. You're the independent thinker, the original rebel, the one who, let's be honest, kind of resists traditional structures.
You absolutely do. You prioritize that abstract idea over the, let's say, messy reality of things. But 2026, this is the year where the cosmos is demanding you apply some real structure to those radical visions of yours.
Exactly. So look, we are not here for vague, fluffy predictions. We are delivering an actionable sector-by-sector forecast. It's designed to help you capitalize on what is a huge turning point.
It really is. The core conflict of the year is balancing your heady intellectual themes, all that brilliant future-forward Aquarian energy, with the necessary grounding that pretty much every outer planet is suddenly screaming for.
Yep. So we promise deep strategic insight. We promise plenty of targeted humor aimed squarely at your resistance to routine, and most importantly, absolutely no reason to panic.
For sure. And to really get this, we have to confirm that Aquarian core identity. It's independence, a visionary mind, deep humanitarian concerns, and that classic tendency to prioritize cold, hard logic over the unpredictable nature of emotion.
That's the one. And that logical distance is precisely what's being challenged in 2026, isn't it?
It is. This year requires you to move your revelationary ideas from the abstract world of thought into measurable, tangible reality. It is truly the year of the grounded visionary.
Okay, I love that. Let's unpack it. Section 1, the cosmic kickoff. This is where identity, fate, and this turning wheel of destiny all just collide.
Yeah, and we have to start with the massive energetic shift that defines the whole year. Numerology frames 2026 as a number 10 years. That's just 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6.
And that contrast with last year is so critical, right? Think back to 2025. That was a 9-year. In tarot, that's the Hermit. The Hermit, it was fantastic, or maybe just frustratingly necessary for all that deep inner work, quiet self-discovery, peeling back the layers to figure out who you really are. But, and this is the key thing, the 9-year was notoriously bad for outward progress. It was a year of preparation, drawing the blueprint indoors.
Precisely. And now you have the number 10, which is the end of one cycle and the beginning of the next. Its tarot card is the Wheel of Fortune.
Ah, the wheel.
The wheel. It signifies movement, fate, cycles of change. So if you've spent the last few years feeling kind of stuck, like you're constantly getting ready to do the thing, but the universe's gears just won't engage, 2026 is the year the wheel finally starts to turn.
It's potential energy becoming kinetic energy.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Now, here's where it gets, really interesting, or maybe a little like a cosmic performance review, because the direction that wheel turns depends entirely on the seed you have sown during that quiet 2025 introspection.
Okay, so what does that mean strategically?
It means if you spent 2025 identifying the right seeds, doing a financial audit, clarifying your values, figuring out what skills you needed to learn, then 2026 delivers. The wheel turns forward. You get momentum.
And the flip side of that is if 2025 was more about intellectual procrastination or maybe just a lot of Netflix while you avoided the hard questions, the Wheel of Fortune is still going to turn.
Right.
But it might just force you to confront that lack of structure, to look at the missed opportunities from that passivity. It's a year where effort gets rewarded with visible results, for better or for worse. Fate favors the prepared mind.
And on top of that, the specific tarot card of the year for Aquarius is the Star.
Yeah.
Which is just intensely positive. It's one of the most benevolent cards in the whole deck.
It is. It signals a period of emotional healing, spiritual growth, and a ton of new sustainable inspiration. The Star is what shows up after the chaos at the Tower card. It represents hope being restored.
It's about regaining faith, right?
Yeah.
Faith in yourself, faith in your ability to contribute.
And faith in life itself. Especially after what may have been a really tough cycle of psychological pressure, it's clarity. It's a calm acceptance of yourself.
Okay, but here's the gentle cosmic ribbing, I think. The universe is basically telling you, the sometimes emotionally detached Aquarius, hey, stop calculating the optimal time to share your brilliance and just hit send.
Coughing, that's about right.
The Star is saying it's your duty now to share your talent, to move from just hoarding it all to actually contributing. Your path gets better the more you trust your own individuality and put it into service. Your ideas have to leave the lab.
And moving from the archetypes to the planets, I mean, 2026 is defined by some colossal outer planet shifts. It's an epical reset. Pluto has begun its long, slow move into your sign.
Which is a decade of unparalleled personal power.
Right. And crucially, it marks the end of any era of passive idealism, the end of resisting your own power. It's this seismic shift toward radical authenticity in action. It forces transformation from the inside out.
And the centerpiece of all of this, the date we should all have circled on our calendars, is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, February 2026, at 0 degrees of Aries.
Exactly. And 0 degrees is not subtle. It's always a powerful, fresh start. This alignment merges these huge, dreamy visions of Neptune with the brutal reality checks of Saturn. It's a collective reset.
Okay, so where does this land for an Aquarius? Because that's what matters.
It lands in your third house.
Yeah.
And we need to be clear about what that governs. Communication, your community, how you think every day, short trips, siblings.
So the implication is immediate. This forces you to structure your ideas. It's a test to see if your revolutionary dreams are actually sustainable on a local daily level.
Exactly. Can you articulate your genius in a way that's organized, responsible, and practical? You can't just live in the abstract idea phase anymore. You have to structure your communication, discipline your learning, and move forward with a clear sense of self.
You have to act on what you believe, not just endlessly debate it.
And speaking of clarity, Neptune moves into Aries on January 26th. For you, this signals the slow lifting of that psychic fog, that confusion and self-imposed limitation that may have been plaguing your thinking.
It's like the courage to communicate and express yourself finally starts to replace all that hesitation.
You begin to see your own thoughts and your own environment with startling new clarity.
And this theme of faded clarity is just hammered home by the eclipses this year, which are all over the Aquarius-Leo axis, your 1st and 7th houses.
Eclipses are never subtle. They are harbingers of sudden change and fated events. They force things to a resolution.
It's the conversation between the circulatory system Aquarius and the heart Leo. It's about balancing your collective contribution with individual love and recognition.
And the first major event is the February 17th annular solar eclipse in Aquarius. This hits your first house of identity. It's a major personal reset.
Solar eclipses are basically supercharged new moons, right? Ushering in a new chapter.
A new fated chapter, focused on radical authenticity and collective progress. The shift is profound. It prompts you to confront those, quote, dead constellations of relationships and stale ways of presenting yourself. It's a force upgrade to your operating system.
And that conversation culminates with the August 12th solar eclipse in Leo.
Yes. And since the South Node is in Leo, this event is powerfully focused on your 7th house of partnership. It's a necessary moment for releasing that ego-driven need for validation.
That need to be the big fish in a small pond in your relationships.
Exactly. This eclipse challenges you to put your gifts to a more selfless service. The focus shifts from look at me and my brilliant idea to how can my brilliant idea serve the whole network? You have to stop defining yourself through external praise and start defining yourself by your authentic contribution.
Wow. Okay, that is a ton of shifting right at the start of the year. A huge theme of radical self-definition linked to structural accountability, which I think brings us perfectly to Section 2, the Saturn saga. This is where the cosmos starts holding you accountable for your wealth, stability, and resources.
Right. And if you thought Saturn was done testing you, think again. We have to address the Vedic influence here, specifically the final phase of Shani Sad-Sati.
Which is that long 7.5-year transit of Saturn designed to basically refine you through intense pressure.
And for Aquarius natives, you're in the setting phase. This lasts from March 2025 all the way through June 2027.
Okay, so the good news is that the peak mental pressure is subsiding. But there's always a but with Saturn. The caveat is that it's still heavily active. It's transiting through your 2nd house, which is Pisces.
And the 2nd house is your accumulated wealth, your assets, your personal values, and even the integrity of your speech. So when Saturn, the planet of limitation and delay, sits there, the focus shifts. It moves from that internal psychological struggle to the practical restructuring of your finances.
Ah, the classic Saturn move. I'm leaving soon, but first, let's just clean up this budget you've been ignoring for 3 years. The sarcasm is that Saturn is supposed to provide you with some good things before it leaves. Security, stability, wealth.
But only if you earn them. You have to earn them through relentless discipline and structural honesty. This is where your desire for independence slams into the reality of cash flow management.
So where does this stress show up?
We can define 3 main areas. First, mental stress and overthinking. specifically around financial decisions. It makes calm planning really difficult and leads to mental exhaustion.
Right. And second, I'm guessing, is just financial instability.
Exactly. It can remain volatile. Even if you have income opportunities, you might find it hard to save. Unexpected expenses will pop up and cause anxiety.
And the third area.
Emotional endurance. This is huge for the often stoic Aquarius. This period requires you to manage responsibilities, especially family obligations, not just by thinking about them, but by consistently following through with practical care.
And the sources even mention diet, right? That Saturn's influence here might push you towards, like rich or fried foods, as a coping mechanism for stress. So discipline in your diet is directly linked to your financial discipline. It's all connected.
It is. Looking at the finances specifically, the forecast is genuinely mixed. You're going to see an irregular flow of money, sometimes a big profit, sometimes a sudden, unavoidable loss.
And the mandate from Saturn is clear.
Yeah.
You have to build a solid financial foundation to sustain your unconventional lifestyle. You need reserves to fund those radical ideas.
You have to stop treating money like an afterthought and start seeing it as a force that needs direction. Meticulous management.
But there is a silver lining here. There's some good cosmic timing. Jupiter offers some help in the first half of the year.
Yes, from January until June 30th, Jupiter is exalted in your 6th house.
Okay, let's break that down. The 6th house is your daily service, your routines, your health, but also debt and enemies. So when Jupiter is exalted there, it's like a supercharged period of good luck for bringing order to all of that.
It makes debt clearance surprisingly easier. This transit is optimal for tackling existing debt, getting approval for new loans, if they're for smart expansion, not reckless spending, and just improving your day-to-day work efficiency.
So this is your official 6-month window for financial consolidation. Use it. Aggressively pay down what you owe and set up those accounting systems Saturn is demanding.
The catch, of course, is Saturn still sitting there in your 2nd house. It can still cause problems with saving or force you to spend what you've saved on those unforeseen expenses.
So the advice is pretty straightforward. Avoid high-risk, impulsive financial moves early in the year. Focus on stable, long-term investments, maybe things that align with your values, like ethical or eco funds. And for an Aquarius who trusts their network, you have to avoid informal loans with friends.
Yeah, that's a big one. And this mandate extends right into the family sphere. Family life may remain, let's say, somewhat weak this year, again because of Saturn in the 2nd house.
And the primary issue is the classic Aquarius challenge, that tendency toward harsh or detached communication when emotional stuff comes up. Your reliance on logic can create these emotional gaps that lead to ego clashes.
Exactly. So your homework is emotional communication. The strategy is to avoid family stubbornness, that I know best attitude, and to avoid the temptation to show off or create a fuss to prove your point.
The sources did say, though, that your actual home environment, your domestic life, is more favorable than family life.
It is, but minor issues might persist because of Saturn's aspect on your 4th house of home. The key to solving those is to maintain privacy about your personal life and just be consistently nurturing to your living space.
Okay, and then finally in this section, we have the March lunar eclipse in Virgo.
Yes, and this forces a necessary release, an emotional boundary check. It targets your 8th house, which is all about shared finances, intimacy, and trust. It's where you merge your resources and vulnerability with other people.
And a Virgo eclipse, that sounds like it's about releasing perfectionist tendencies.
It is. Releasing perfectionism that might be hindering real intimacy. It forces clarity on financial boundaries. So if you've been avoiding the tough conversations about debt or inheritance or even just your emotional needs, this eclipse is going to bring it all to the surface. You have to clear the clutter in your bank account and in your heart.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a lot of deep cleaning.
Yeah.
So now that we've established the structural and financial reality checks from Saturn, let's pivot to section 3, career and the visionary upgrade. This is all about shifting from that slow internal development to necessary public visibility.
Right, and the first half of the year, up to late June, is what we're calling the slow climb to specialization. Your career path is a slow but meaningful development for the first 6 months.
And the key phrase there, linking back to Jupiter in the 6th house, is internal skill building and service. So don't look for the big, flashy promotion just yet. This is about strategic planning and deep upskilling. It's the universe forcing you to become an authority, not just a generalist.
Exactly. Professional progress comes through meticulous skill development, disciplined problem solving, and service. This is the moment to pick a lane and commit to being the expert in it. Your job security is safe as long as you work diligently. You're the reliable technician before you become the revered genius.
What are the pitfalls here? What do you need to watch out for?
Well, you might face limited growth opportunities or minor frustrations like miscommunications at work. But the biggest danger, by far, is getting involved in office politics.
Ah.
The Rahu Ketu influence demands you steer clear of this. Getting sucked into dramas that aren't your job is a massive waste of energy and can really damage your reputation.
Okay, so stay in your lane, focus on your skills, and for entrepreneurs, the advice is to plan the business model in the first half, not launch the rocket.
Precisely. Because the energy dramatically shifts in the second half of the year, we
Yeah.
call this the momentum shift. After Jupiter moves on June 30th, the outlook becomes really promising for promotions, job changes, successful collaborations, all of it.
And Jupiter entering the seventh house of partnerships after October 31st specifically paves the way for a promotion that comes through a key partnership.
Yes. This is where the sustained hard work from the first half pays off with visible results. Your intellectual contributions will finally get the recognition they deserve.
And here is where your innovative Aquarian spirit gets its cosmic fuel. Uranus moves into Gemini on April 25th and is going to stay there until 2033. This is a massive shift.
A generational shift. For you, Uranus is moving into your fifth house of creativity, self-expression, and speculation. This just accelerates innovation.
So success is now tied to thinking outside the box, collaborating, embracing new tech. Anything in media, social impact, tech-related work is highly favored. Your mind is electric.
It is, and this is the core challenge of the year, you still have Saturn's mandate. You have to turn those brilliant thoughts into measurable systems. If Uranus is delivering 1,000 brilliant ideas a minute, Saturn is standing there asking, okay, but which one did you budget for, and when is the deadline?
Well, laughing, of course. So you have to be the innovator and the project manager who delivers the results. Your success is now about collaborative intelligence and tangible value.
And the tarot echoes this perfectly. The star, as your card of the year, predicts visibility and significant contribution. You'll be motivated to work toward your ideals, not just a routine. Your unique ideas finally get recognized.
But there are a couple of monthly warnings to watch out for. March brings the reversed magician.
Right. The magician is all about manifestation, but reversed, it's a huge warning against scattered focus and multitasking. You have to prioritize one goal to avoid diluting your effort. That's the trap for Aquarius, right? Too many brilliant projects at once.
Totally. And in April, the reversed King of Wands tests your leadership. It warns against arrogance, impatience, ego friction. Basically, don't snap at your team because they can't keep up with your visionary speed.
The guidance is to lead with steadiness. Let your reliable system speak louder than just the next brilliant idea.
Okay, let's move into section 4, the relational renaissance. This covers love, marriage, friendships. And it's a very clear two-part story this year. Cleanup followed by celebration.
Let's start with the first phase, the early year emotional cleanup. For those in established relationships, the start of 2026 might feel a bit strained. A lack of warmth, past conflicts resurfacing.
Fun. So sorry, you logical Aquarians, you have to deal with feelings now. But it's crucial for building deeper trust, isn't it?
It is. This tension is a direct result of Saturn's pressure, which is urging you to eliminate heart clutter. This means choosing partners who share your real values. Any casual relationships without a clear, shared direction are probably going to fade away.
Saturn tests commitment.
It does. And it's vital to maintain privacy. Don't air your relationship grievances on social media.
Good advice. And this tension can peak mid-year with Saturn retrograde, right? Bringing back old patterns of detachment, maybe the silent treatment.
Yes. The cosmos is forcing a final healing. If you can peacefully express difficult feelings without resorting to just cold logic and keep your promises, your love life becomes so much more stable and respectful in the second half of the year.
And that profound turning point happens when Jupiter moves into Leo, your seventh house of partnership, on June 30th.
This is the key relational transit of the year. The seventh house governs all your one-on-one relationships, legal partnerships, marriage, and this marks the most important year for relationships in over a decade. A true romantic renaissance.
A once-in-a-decade window for luck and expansion. So for committed couples, what does this look like?
It's a serious upgrade. Renewed passion, expanded intimacy, joint creative projects. You could see big commitments like weddings or buying property together. Trust is built by actively supporting each other's individual evolution.
And what about for singles?
The forecast is highly auspicious, but you have to be active. Dating could move at a high-speed romantic comedy pace. The best windows are between April and July, and then again strongly after October.
And the new partner will likely be an intellectual equal, a co-conspirator in curiosity.
That is the perfect description for an Aquarius. You're most likely to find this person in group settings, through shared missions, or online communities, places that engage your mind first.
So for those looking for marriage, the prospects are strong, especially early in the year and then again after October 31st.
Very strong, but there's a vital word of caution here. Rahu remains in your first house all year.
Okay, remind us. Rahu is the North Node ambition, obsession, sometimes illusion. And when it's in your first house, your house of identity, it can distort how you see yourself and your partners.
It can. In relationships, this can create mutual suspicion or self-doubt. To maintain harmony, you need unwavering loyalty, clear communication, and you have to actively avoid doubt. Trust has to be based on reality, not on Rahu's illusions.
Thankfully, the star in the love sphere creates a more gentle and healing atmosphere. It encourages the single Aquarius to focus on healing their self-worth first.
Exactly. Once you fully appreciate your own authentic self, you naturally attract a partner who truly sees and appreciates you for you.
Okay, finally, let's dive into Section 5. Health grounding the inner electricity. This links all that planetary intensity directly to your self-care.
And the overall prognosis, to be blunt, is that your health may remain a little weak or delicate. This is because of Saturn in the second house and Rahu in the first. They amplify mental stress.
The stress report basically says you're going to feel wired but tired,
Mm.
which makes sense. You're carrying all this electric energy from Pluto and Uranus without the grounding of Saturn's discipline.
Yeah, the symptoms are intense mental stress, perpetual overthinking, restlessness, chronic sleep disruption, and mood swings. It's the sound of your high-voltage mind running on an unstable grid.
So Saturn is basically acting as a cosmic physical therapist. It's showing you exactly how your unconventional habits are impacting your system. It's saying you have to fix the strange schedules, lack of sleep, and mental overload.
Because neglecting your health this year could genuinely take a toll. It will manifest as physical symptoms that force you to stop. The areas to focus on are your vulnerable spots: blood circulation, ankles, nerves, skin, and feet.
So what's the required routine? What do you actually do?
The cosmic advice is to establish a consistent routine that is non-negotiable. This has to include grounding exercises, walking, stretching, and, critically, a non-negotiable digital detox and sleep hygiene routine.
Why the digital detox specifically?
Because that Uranus energy makes you intellectually addicted to stimulation. You have to protect your nervous system from the constant stream of data that just accelerates your mental stress. Jupiter's transit in June will offer some relief, but the discipline has to come first.
And to calm the inner storm, the sources suggest things like meditation, sound therapy, or just being near water.
Right, it's about establishing a stability that comes from flexibility and trust in your own resilience, not from the rigid intellectual control you usually seek.
The ultimatum from the cosmos is simple. Care for your body as much as you care for your mind. Your physical vessel has to be strong enough to house this revolutionary spirit that's emerging.
So in summary, 2026 is not the year for quiet contemplation. It is the year of implementation, of sovereignty, and of authentic collaboration.
You stop being the mere dreamer who's always preparing, and you become the architect of a better tomorrow. The focus shifts from introspection to tangible action. It's structured from Saturn for your radical ideas from Uranus. The cosmos is giving you the blueprint. Now you have to provide the elbow grease.
And the cosmic momentum is so strongly behind you. The North Node enters Aquarius on July 26th. That starts an 18-month cycle where fate is truly on your side.
So you're urged to remember your identity sovereignty, launch that significant new chapter that reflects your true self, and move away from ego-driven validation toward real contribution.
This Pluto and Aquarius decade is one of unparalleled personal power, and your time to build the blueprint you've been sketching has finally arrived. The wheel is turning, and it is turning for you.
So what does this all mean for you right now, in this moment? Given that Saturn and Neptune are forcing this merger of your wildest visions with the most disciplined reality, what is the single non-negotiable system you need to put in place today to ensure your genius doesn't just remain a brilliant, abstract thought?
Is it that 5-minute grounding routine you keep skipping? Is it the automated savings plan that grounds your unconventional finances?
Or is it that hard, honest conversation with a partner that finally clears up the heart clutter? Start the routine, start the budget, or start the conversation. The controls are in your hands, but the time for action is now.